Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Richard, aka K.OmodoKreate, and today we're gonna do a review and an unboxing of the DJI Mini 3 Pro. If you're brand new to the channel, consider subscribing right now and liking this video for future videos like this. So before we get into the review, I want to tell you that actually 2 weeks ago, I had already started this whole video idea of unboxing and doing a quick review of this DJI Mini 3 Pro. And that unboxing semi-failed, but also that particular drone has already been returned to Amazon. Now, I'm going to try to make this long story short, but the reason why I returned the unit was in no reason for its condition. It was actually a really pristine condition in terms of a used product from Amazon. And the quality was indicated as it being a very good condition, and it was. But one of the reasons why I returned it was because when I started looking into the accessories for the DJI Mini 3 Pro, from ND filters to even cases and batteries and different things like that, I started looking into considering buying more of a bundle kit. Now, this story is actually pretty horrible, pretty horrific for me, because what I did instead was I started looking into Facebook Marketplace and other used marketplaces for a used bundle unit, including the batteries, ND filters, etc. All this while still having that old unit from Amazon. Because as I was looking into it, and as I was calculating, if I had bought the batteries separately and the cases separately, then you get the ND filters and all sorts of different accessories, it becomes a hefty price. And as I was looking into the used market, I realized a lot of people are selling these units. And in my mind, one of the reasons is because the DJI Mini 4 Pro is potentially coming out in 2025. And so here I was searching, looking, and finally found a really good bundle, too good to be true, and there's a lesson in it. So as many of you have mentioned, I live in Montreal, and this particular seller was in Ottawa. Now, for the sake of potentially still under investigation and me having reported this to Facebook, I'm not gonna fully expose the guy, but here's the picture of that bundle, picture of that ad, and maybe just a little small picture of who he is and whatever, in Ottawa. And so in our initial communication, I had mentioned that I was willing to drive over there in Ottawa, but we couldn't figure out the time correctly. And he had already offered to send the package over via Canada Post, and I was going to pay him half of the fee, half of the full bundle, including Canada Post fees. And once I received the item physically in my hand, then I would pay the rest. And I was going back and forth, mind you. You know, in my own personal cocky way, I've been doing this for about 10 years in terms of buying things from marketplace, meeting in person mostly. But I've also done other transactions where I would actually get the item shipped to me, or even for myself to ship the item to the buyer. So I mean, the track record has been good for me, so I had really big confidence in this guy's ad. And so I pulled the trigger, sent him half of the money, and he said that he was going to send it the following morning via Canada Post. You know, everything was good, sent him the money via Interac, done deal. Next thing you know, I woke up the next morning and the guy blocked me. The ad is no longer, I was no longer able to see the ad, and money is gone. All I had was this email where I sent the money to, emailed him a couple of strong words, but pretty much a week later today, heard nothing, money is gone, lesson learned. Now, I guess a glimmer of light in the story is that a couple of days after that, after I was panicking, just trying to figure things out, figured out that Amazon actually had a bundle deal for a brand new unit. Not a bundle deal, but it was the same unit that I had purchased, the used, very good condition, but it was reduced to almost 20% at that point. And so the price of the used condition that I had bought was almost the same as a brand new unit. In fact, I think it was a little bit cheaper slightly. And so I went ahead and just returned the unit in its original condition, and I decided to buy a brand new unit, sealed, never touched, never opened, and this is the one that we have today. So I guess a quick lesson learned there as an introduction to this video is be cautious when you buy online, and if a deal is too good to be true, probably is. In any case, we're gonna move forward and we're gonna talk about the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Now, I've had the opportunity to fly this drone a couple of times now for the last week. Really just doing test shoots, Wanted to figure out some of the controls of the RC controller. Also messing around with the settings of the camera based off of reviews and different people in terms of what they do with their filming. And so far, it's been incredible. So just for the sake of this video, I will show you right now a quick snippet of that introduction video along with the unboxing of the used condition. I'll probably throw the picture of the sealed one that I have currently right now. Didn't do an unboxing video there. I also did a quick vlog with the Pocket 2, DJI Pocket 2. I don't have it right now in front of me, but I did a quick vlog when I went to these different places, different parks, and also the Mont Royal Cross here in Montreal when I took some really good footage with the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So here's that clip. Now I'm gonna open this a bit carefully because, like I said, I did buy it used, open box rather, from Amazon, and so if there's any damage or anything like that, I want to make sure that I can return it. So that's pretty cool. There's the Fly app. All right, and here's the drone. Quite excited about this. Been wanting this for a while. I've been asking my wife to the permission to be able to buy this. So I'm just gonna, let me just get this guy out and kind of show it in the pocket there. Look at that boy. Oops. That's sweet. And I'm gonna show it to you. This, what's cool about it is so tiny that I can just kind of have it in my palm. Battery component sticker is not off, so I think this is brand new. I really want to say it's brand new. There's the battery there. As I mentioned, so far I'm loving this drone. It's everything that I you know, for all the reasons that I wanted to buy a drone, it all kind of met the needs that I had. You know, and I'm gonna list some of those things that I think is critical for you to think about before you purchase a drone like this. So a quick pro tip before we continue forward is to actually think about purchasing the DJI Fly More, the DJI Fly More kit for the DJI Mini 3 Pro. Now they do have two options, the Fly More kit and also the Fly More Kit Plus, which I think comes with just extra bundle of accessories that I didn't think I need necessarily. So in my opinion, if you really want to test out this drone to its max and see its capacity, this kit is actually quite nice to have and quite necessary, if I may say, because it comes with the case. Now, it's a very light drone, obviously, but having a case to protect it, especially if you don't have a camera bag, or if you do have a camera bag but you're simply going out to just get drone footage, it's really nice to have just this simple bag, sorry, for you to be able to just put in really everything: the controller, the drone, batteries, your ND filters, and other things that you may have. And so this I highly suggest, and this alone, this kit alone is so worth it because of this guy, which is a 3 battery pack recharger. And one of the cool thing about this is that it's a USB-C charger. It also can serve as a, I guess, as a battery bank, if you want to call it. So because it has a regular USB for you to be able to plug in your phone or whatever other accessories. I'm probably going to use that for the RCI controller when I'm going to be, recharging this as I'm going. But super fast charging. Pro tip again is to use your MacBook bank charger, brick charger rather, with a USB-C, and it will charge this thing real quick. And the extra batteries is just necessary. I was thinking about buying the bigger battery that will allow you to fly longer, but it defeats one of the purpose why I love this drone, which is to make it into a micro drone that weighs less than 250 grams. If you're going to use the bigger battery, obviously the category is no longer a micro drone, and at that point you're going to need a certificate and to register the drone so for you to be able to fly it. So for me, it made more sense to buy extra batteries and to have it ready, full charge, so that even way before it will indicate that it's low in battery, I'm going to go ahead and charge it and change it to the other two. And I think 30 minutes to an hour worth of you going out there and getting footage, especially if you've already planned it well, is going to be sufficient. So pro tip, get these. All right, so just wrap up this video. I'm going to give you a quick review of some of the things I love, and some of the cons, not necessarily cons, but just some of the things I wish would have been better about the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So first things first, really what I just had already mentioned is the size and weight of this drone. It's super light, but at the same time, I think a lot of reviewers would say it feels light, especially with the battery. Without the battery, it's even lighter, but just the overall construction of the unit is still very solid. It's well made. In fact, I've actually dropped this drone particularly twice inside my home. Don't fly inside your home, but I did drop it twice, and it fell maybe about like 10 feet, less than 10 feet. And it really it hit the floor really hard. Other than the propeller really just getting some scratches on it, it was still good. There's nothing wrong with the lenses or anything like that. It's got a protective covering. I have the ND filter there now, but for a small drone, it's compact, but also very durable, very strong, and I think it's more than capable of handling decent winds and decent conditions when you're flying it outside. And again, just on top of that, one of the things I love is because it's under 250 grams, it's considered as a micro drone. So a lot of the drone laws, at least here in Canada, after reading the Trans-Canada website, because of it being under 250 grams, being a micro drone, a lot of the drone laws does not apply to it, meaning you can fly it in more places. For the majority of the part, at least from my understanding from the laws, is that you just have to be mindful of privacy. You have to be mindful of safety. You don't want to fly it obviously near a crowd of people where potentially they can get injured. So you want to always be in a big field, big empty field, and just flying it safely. So just consider that as you're flying. But again, for the most part, you do have more flexibility and more availability for you to just fly this drone anywhere. And that's going to be very helpful when I'm going to be traveling, in that, as long as you're within limits of the 400 feet, and also the distance from you. I think the other law too is that you need to have this in line of sight at all times. And so as long as you're honoring those rules, it's the perfect traveling drone, compact drone for you to take anywhere, just for that extra B-roll, just for that extra production in your filmmaking and videos. Now, the second thing I love about this camera is being familiar with the DJI family from the Pocket camera, which I've used for years now, currently owning the Pocket 2, and it's a monster in itself. Is that is my main camera for vlogging and content grabbing, and just even nowadays, beyond the Panasonic GH5. But I found it interesting that it's the same kind of lens, at least in the look, and in terms of the quality as well. It shoots up to 4K 60. You can even do some other slow-mo with 1080 quality. I think there's an HDR function that goes up to 4K 30, which is great. I personally shoot 4K 24 just for that cinematic feel and look. I haven't tried the 4K 30, but a lot of people do suggest, if you're going to be using it for content making or social media, 4K 30 is the best, because the HDR functionality will only work up to 4K 30, not 4K 60. But I'm not complaining about that 4K 60. The footage is beautiful, it's still crispy, it's still very nice. And I made some changes in the settings of the camera, which I'm going to share in a different video in terms of what I've learned and what I liked. But yeah, overall, the quality of the video, it's been amazing. You cannot complain about it. Very stable as well. You think, even when I'm flying it really close to me, you're kind of surprised how stable the footage is, but it really is. You won't notice any shake or anything like that. The technology in it to make it balance is incredible, and that's just DJI. One of the things I love about DJI is just, I feel like every year they push the boundaries in terms of their technology, their quality, the user friendliness. One of the cameras I've always dreamed of owning is the DJI 4D, and they're just taking it to the next level in their drone game. I know they're best well known for their drones, and so I'm excited to see what more they're going to be doing in terms of the technology and helping filmmakers and content makers create better videos. So that camera, super nice. Now, one of the things that I do want to be testing soon enough is some of the intelligent modes. So the tracking, and I think there's also like the 360 kind of cinematic look that you can do by just simply putting a box around the person or the building that you want to be focusing on, and it will just do its own magic. It's sort of like an automatic setting thing that if ever you want to have that kind of footage, that B-roll, it's ready to go. So I haven't really used that functionality yet, but I'll be testing out in the coming weeks, hopefully, and just gather some of those footage and then share that again on a part 2 or a different video of this for this DJI Mini 3 Pro. But I know that at least for the DJI Pocket, the follow tracking system that they have in there is fantastic. It never fails. I do rarely use it, but when I do use it, it functions very well, and won't be surprised if this guy is able to pull off the same, if not better. Last but not least, if you think about it, the battery power in this is pretty good. I have not recharged this battery since about a week now, and I've been flying it for almost 15-20 minutes overall in terms of just grabbing footage and then landing it and going home with it. So the 3-4 times that I've flown the drone and coming back to it, right now it's on 1 bar actually, but just the fact that it still has 1 bar after all of that, after a week, without me having to change the battery, is pretty great. So 30 minutes worth of flying, and you know, even more if you're smart with it, if you turn it off right away. There are times where I've wrapped it up but I forgot to turn off the actual drone, so just be mindful of that. And then more incredibly, I think, is the RCI controller, because this guy, I haven't charged this from the beginning and it still has like 3 bars. So I think that's pretty good in terms of it being a controller. Again, like I said, you can charge it easily with the USB-C, and I'm probably going to be doing that soon, just recharging this battery and switching it over. But the battery life is great. 30 minutes worth of footage is going to be sufficient for a lot of people, and if you have 2 extra batteries, that's over an hour and a half. You should be good to go as long as you charge your batteries up right away. Now, the only time that I've had issues with it was weirdly enough, I think in one of the parks that I tried to fly this in, I took off with the drone as usual, and for some reason, for about 5 seconds, it was sort of wobbling, and it was almost like it was trying to find its footing, if you want to call it, in balance. But then after that, it was fine. I got worried a bit, so I did land it, and I restarted it and recalibrated. I checked the propellers to make sure that they're fine. Actually, one of my propellers is a little bit bent after a short B-roll thing that I was trying to do here for this video. So it's a little bit bent, so I might change that propeller before I try to fly it again, or at least try on it and then see if I can switch it. But yeah, that was kind of I was kind of panicking a little bit that it was kind of wobbling, but that was the only time that it was acting kind of weird. But then I was still able to grab some footage after that, and felt confident about it. The other thing too was apparently this guy has a range that is quite limited for a lot of pros. So I'm not a pro, this is my first drone, but if you're thinking about flying over trees, for instance, or buildings, or distance yourself away from the subject that you're going to be capturing, there is going to be a limit to what you can do with this. And so me personally, I would suggest flying it in a way where you can still have line of sight with the controller and the drone. I've flown it as much as only like 200 feet, 250 maybe, and that was pretty, like, it was high enough for me to be able to grab the footage that I need to. But I know that the maximum this guy can do is 400 feet, or rather the maximum the law will permit you is to fly it above 400 feet. So anything higher than that, you're kind of, you're against the rules, I guess. But I think 400 feet is plenty enough for you to be able to capture some good footage. But yeah, that's one of the flaws, I guess, if you want to say. So as a last flaw, people would say that it is quite expensive for a small mini drone. But I would say that it's nowhere near an entry line drone. I would disagree with that. I think it's a pro level drone in many ways, and I think the fact that it's a small size drone actually makes it more accessible, but also more pro in its way, because it's easier to carry with you. It's easy to function, easy for you to just let it fly and grab the footage that you need. And so it's pro in many ways, but with that pro functionality comes with a hefty price tag, at least for me. Right now I think it's around $1,000, $1,060 on sale on Amazon. If it's not on sale, it's about $1,200. But you know, Christmas is coming, Black Friday. I did see it on Prime Day being as low as $950, if not $900. And so I think this coming Christmas, if this is something that you've been considering, it might be the perfect time for you to buy it then in Christmas. And again, it's just a great camera, great drone for you to elevate your overall production. So with all that to say, I'm very excited about this drone, and I'm going to be taking more time before the summer is completely over here in Canada to fly this thing and to test it out and to push it to its limits kind of thing, and see what it can produce for me and for my videos. And especially I'm more excited for me to be able to bring this to Indonesia in coming months and be able to get some really good B-rolls with the vlogs and some of the videos that I'm thinking about doing there. So again, as I mentioned before, click like and subscribe to the channel for future videos and future reviews and vlogs where I'll be testing out some of the gears. And you know, coming up, I have different lists of videos that I want to do, such as the DJI Pocket 2 that I've been using for years, and it's one of my tools that I've used in my arsenal that I really love. So I can't wait to kind of give you a, I guess, years worth of review of that camera. And of course the Panasonic GH5 that I'm using now for all of my client work, freelance work, and professional work. Hands down one of my favorite camera, but we are looking to upgrade, so more news on that. But hey, click like and subscribe, follow this channel. I'll be coming out with more videos this season, and I'm looking forward to be able to just elevate my filmmaking skills and to do more in this channel. So thank you for watching the video, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace.